This is umpire Lefondios, and I'm happy to share the after-action review for the Battle of Bzura, Poland, 1939. An open Saturday battle, the participants had to plan quickly and get right into the action. We had experienced commanders and some new players, and universally the players shared that they enjoyed the day. Let's see what happened. The German invasion of Poland in September 1939 quickly overwhelmed the Polish military. Trying to defend the borders, the Polish were quickly bypassed, and the situation was dire by September 14th. Hoping for help from the British and French, the Polish High Command wanted to keep Warsaw free, and the army of the Poznan, circled here in green, was intact. It conducted an offensive operation along the Bzura River. 12 divisions pushed the German line back, seeking to break it and forcing the Germans to send reinforcements. The German 8th Army Corps was overextended, and the German 13th was ordered into the line to stabilize it. Our players are recreating the high water mark of this Polish offensive. The Polish 17th and 25th divisions attacked toward the town of Ozorkow, looking to break the German line. The German 17th Division had been ordered into the line, and while moving north, ran into this attack. In a meeting engagement, they clashed. Historically, the Polish 17th drove the German 17th out of Ozorko. We'll see how our players handle the same scenario. The order of battle conformed to the historical situation. At this point, it was an infantry battle where the Polish outnumbered the Germans. German mechanized forces had pushed east to attack Warsaw. The Polish at Ozorkow were 18 battalions with support from tankettes, the Germans 13 battalions with 1 recon car regiment and 1 machine gun battalion in support. Let's get the respective commanders' plans.
Our plan was to move and establish 2 or 3-ish strong points, being in Otsarkov itself, on the hills directly to its southwest where the 82nd were holding, and in the tree line by the crossroads east of Otsarkov.
Yeah, so basically during the briefing, we got some information. I don't know how it was for the Germans, but we got some information on what kind of equipment the Germans would have. And it was said that they have armored cars. And so surprisingly, we actually had the armored advantage in this battle with our recon tanks. So we had to pick, I had to pick terrain that is most conducive to that advantage of ours. If we look at the map, we can see that the river in the center pretty much splits the whole thing into 2. And our objective is to find some sort of gap through the German line to allow other Polish divisions to stream in and force the Germans to assign more units to this sector. So why we chose the left flank to, I guess the west side to deploy on is because, it's open ground first of all, and it has much less defensive opportunity. Germans, say the town of Ozorkow or the woods that they did eventually end up deploying into. So the idea was to overload one of the flanks while screening them with minor forces, probing them and keeping their attention there, while we just overran their left and got behind them.
1 hour of game time in, you can see the Polish main body in the west moving toward the Dug in German 82nd Regiment. Its recon unit has pushed forward to establish visual on the German line. The Germans have started laying demolition at the bridge south of Ozorkow. The battle begins. In the middle of the battle area, the Germans continue preparing the bridge at Ozorkow for demolition, while a Polish battle group commanded by IKS player Sheephead pushes south toward the town. The Polish main body, consisting of 3 full battle groups, is now attacking the German 82nd Regiment in the southwest. Let's hear the perspective of Don Blazer, who was the player commanding that defending German force.
So I initially followed our plan. I was going to hold our left flank, and was also our initial plan was when they were going to go through this gap, we thought that we could concentrate artillery on them, but they were so overwhelming that I quickly knew that after I received artillery fire on the hills and in the forest around, I retreated and quickly saw that armor was going to outflank me and try to reach the bridge.
In the southwest, the German 82nd tries to pull back as it faces overwhelming Polish combat power. At Ozorkow, the Polish battle group raids to try and ensure the bridge south of town is cut. In a miscommunication, the German demolitions go off, cutting the bridge. Let's hear the perspective of Sheephead, the player who commanded the raiding Polish force.
It's funny because that was a major miscommunication on my side, it seems, because I did not realize that the line over in the west was already crumbling, the German line. I was the commander of Group B, as a side note. And what I was afraid of was that the Germans were going to use that bridge, or the one north of it, to launch a counterattack. And because we had so many units grouped in such a very small area, I was afraid that if the Germans played more aggressively or actively, they could have tried to essentially encircle the units, especially if the line in the west had been more stable. And that raid, the objective was not to save the bridge, it was to destroy it.
The Germans counterattack at Ozorku in the area shown by the gray ellipse, using airstrikes and concentrated attacks to drive the Polish units back. The Delta battle group, marked by the number 2, attacks successfully across the bridge, significantly damaging the German battalion there. The remainder of the German 82nd, marked by the red circle, tries to cross the river in the south, but find the bridge is destroyed and they are trapped. In the southwest, the Polish Echo battle group, marked by the number 1, attacks south and destroys the artillery. Let's hear from the commander of that Polish force, J. Rock.
I was talking to E the entire time, and the whole point of us was like, well, I want to be able to envelop and wrap up whatever's here, because I was like, there is nobody in front of me. So we were just going the long game, going all the way around.
Yep.
And when we realized we had took out a whole artillery, it was like, oh, that takes out a pain for everybody. And we just wrapped around.
The game ends as the Polish Echo battle group, marked by the red circle, closes in and destroys the trapped 82nd German Regiment. Polish units cross the river at the location marked with the number 1. At the location marked number 2, 2 Polish battle groups join to prepare an attack into the flank of the German 17th Division. At the number 3, you see 1 Polish battle group having dug in to keep the Germans from moving north. This is a decisive Polish victory because it shows at number 4 how the next wave of Polish divisions can push through the now broken German line to draw forces away from Warsaw, which was the purpose of the campaign. Many thanks to these players and umpires for participating in the game. Great Gold and KB did fine jobs as commanders-in-chief. An IKS Gold Star to Don Blazer and Dr. Foos Pulley for doing a great job on their first game as player and umpire respectively. We had a 45-minute setup and 13-minute turns, so the game was a smooth one as these games go. Let's hear veteran umpire Lake Tsarina talk about the game system we use today.
On the system as a whole, this is something that is very rarely seen in IKS and the community in general. It's a very fast system. It is, when the umpires know what they're doing, it can go, these were 10-minute turns, quick turns. When normal turns are normally like 15 or 20-minute turns, sometimes 30 minutes, but I digress. It is very fast, and it really, when you get the system down and streamlined to the essentials, it becomes essentially this, I don't want to say a dance, it really is just this working machine that is so tuned to what it needs to do, that it's just the player inputs that need to make or break a game.
Thanks again to the participants, and thank you Kriegsspielers for watching this after-action review. Join us at a future Open Saturday game, and keep learning the lessons of these reports so you can improve your play. We'll see you out there on the Kriegsspiel board.